All right, hello everybody. I want to talk about teachers. The other day, I had a very lengthy conversation with an ex-teacher of mine. So we were talking about elementary school kids, and part of it was just about how teachers are handling 2020. It was very interesting. The talk was just like, okay, these kids had a normal school beginning of the school year, and then I think they went to spring break, and then all of a sudden it was like they were told like slowly to not come back. So it's kind of like a trip. I think they like had half days as this thing kind of broke out after spring break, and then like a week after spring break, it was just like no, don't even come back. And then everything after that had to be like online and just all that adapting and stuff. And so it was interesting. My teacher had to buy one of those projector cameras that kind of gives you a high quality pan downward so she can scribble and the kids would see that. Since this was elementary school, we were talking about how kids are just bouncing off the walls. And it was interesting because I guess the ones that would normally do it in class, anyways, were the ones that did it on camera. So the ones that knew how to stay put and all of that were pretty much doing that uh, online also. The cute things were is that you would get kids with bedhead or in their PJs or holding a stuffed animal. So those things were kind of endearing and fun to listen to. My teacher's dream thing that she realized is she bought one kid with ADHD while in class. She bought one of those it's like a desk thing that you can stand and write at the same time. So it's kind of like the equivalent of those like nursing desks when you're in a hospital bed and they have a desk that kind of wheels over to you and it adjusts. And the rule is you can either stand or you can sit, but you got to stay still in that area. And so it was one of those where I grew up with you sit at a desk and you deal with it. But as things evolve, we could be living in a world where kids work in different ways. And so some kids will sit, some kids will stand, some kids will have the standing desk, some will have the traditional ones. So I thought that was interesting. That was like her ideal classroom is obviously a little larger classroom, a smaller class size population wise, and then you know these types of desks that kind of adapt to the kid. So that was really interesting. Uh, Having to deal with people in their house, dealing with those kind of schedules, that was interesting. Uh, I heard a messed up story. Apparently, a young gal who was the teacher friend's daughter, daughter's friend, from another state, Michigan. She came all the way over here for a boy, and then the boy held her up, like just straight up didn't show up. So that was messed up. Don't do that. I don't care who you are. That just seems like just beyond rude. But so that was just a little tidbit. That anecdote's more just for me and future. But yeah, so we're just talking about student life, faculty life, adjusting. Uh, I'm working on my own projects that involve working with the school. And we talked about that and getting a feeler for everything and understanding, building relationships, things like that. Trying to think if there was anything else that's kind of cool. All the teacher things were pretty much standard, universal from other teachers too, from what they said. It was just like adapting, getting curriculum. There was issues with file transfers because you're dealing with, I think Google Docs has like a student school version, and they have protocols to not send files so that kids are sending crap or receiving inappropriate things. So that made sending homework or screenshots of homework completion by parents difficult. So it's just like little software issues. Software issues that I dealt with is I still couldn't figure out Zoom. I tried to have a Zoom conversation and I could accept the invite and watch it, but for some reason I can't invite people. I'm dumb. So yeah, I had a brain fart with that one. I don't get how they can't just have a click and I don't know. I did something wrong, but it didn't seem as simple as it should have been. But yeah, so technological issues with having to do with schooling, dealing with kids that are from our It was interesting to hear about parents, getting a taste. It's difficult to manage kids, and you get these parents that just kind of go, oh, and they think it's easy peasy or something, or they think their kid's a saint. Well, they come to realize that's not the case. So that was appropriate and necessary. I learned a new term. It was like there's helicopter parent, which I knew, which are parents that hover around trying to be in full guard of their kid and aware of things and probably manipulating their kids, like, do this, Jimmy, blah blah, just really hovering over them like a helicopter. But apparently there's a new slang that's called a lawnmower parent, because they mow over anything that gets in their kids' way. So I think they're the more dangerous ones over the helicopter. Obviously this is just kind of said in jest, no one's no one's going, oh, but there are those parents that are a little bit of a headache. So if you are those parents, ease up a little bit on the teachers. I don't think anyone's main goal in life is to give your kid the worst possible life. So ease up and realize that teaching is incredibly hard. And this is coming from experience. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of interesting tidbits. How they're gonna have to adapt. They have no idea what fall is gonna entail, let alone the following spring. They're gonna play it by ear. They said that half students will come and half will stay at home and learn via computer, and then it will swap off the other half of the day or the following day. So that's like one day at home, the other day in class, or half and half in one day. And I was just kind of going, that's interesting. Reducing the school population is an interesting task in and itself. Obviously, that's every teacher's dream, because you can give the kid the most out of a one-on-one experience, and you're not juggling 30 kids. But it's also just a weird shame, that some kids will have to do that. And that's just weird times. They were talking about just kind of going, you can't, the way they'll separate kids in school, classes and desks will be further apart. Same with cafeteria stuff, assemblies. Very interesting times. All those other things, I think that was the future. You gotta understand, a lot of things are up in the air too. They just don't know. They have to take it day by day. I mean, for all we know, a more severe outbreak could occur. So this is brand new for everybody. Nobody knows what to do quite yet, and we're feeling it out. Plus, you have to go off of what the government or the president wants. So then there's also national laws or federal laws versus, more local ones and stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. Kind of want to make this a quick video. I didn't want to, get too into it, but yeah, we're moving on. We're moving along with a lot of projects, a lot of job stuff, and moving along with a lot of things in life, adapting. So anyway, thanks for watching.